The second one is you limit the booking window. Okay. So for inbound leads, you don't allow bookings further than 4 days out. Very important. And for outbound, you just train your SDRs to always push for same or next day first. This is very important. I see a lot of training that just says, yeah, just ask for the meeting, but they don't say how to do that. And then the SDRs just ask on the phone, well, when do you have time? And then the prospect says, oh, in 3 weeks. And then you create the opportunity and it sits there for 3 weeks before the first demo even happens. Turns out it's unqualified, but your pipeline just gets messed up. Your forecast gets messy. Just don't do that. Train your SDRs to push for same or next day always first. So you just ask, how does later today at 4 p.m. or tomorrow at 11 or 5 p.m. work for you? That's 3 times for today and tomorrow. If they say they don't have time, you can still push out, but you're trying to do it as fast as possible. And the majority of people will just say, oh yeah, I have time tomorrow. Or yeah, let's do later today. Boom. And if you do this, it will also increase your show up rate by a lot, right? You can get like 95% plus if you just do this right. So you shouldn't lose any deals on no shows. It's like the easiest thing to fix. I made a whole video on that, by the way. So you can watch that after this. But you shouldn't be losing deals on show rates, just as a small side note. All right. So limit booking window to 4 days out. You train your SDRs to always push for same and next day. And then if they don't have time, you gradually book out from that. So if they can't do today or tomorrow, you say, okay, how's the day after tomorrow work? Okay, how's Friday? And then you gradually just make it longer. And also you can analyze for this part, if you realize that all of these ones that took extremely long also didn't have time within 7 days, then you know that everyone who doesn't have time within the next week is probably going to close in longer than 3 months or way longer than your average sales cycle should be. So what do? Disqualify them, or at least you nurture them. You don't immediately create an opportunity out of that because that's going to mess up your pipeline and your data. We don't want that. The third fix is the pain cycle. Okay. So you need to create urgency by asking people what they've tried before, for how long they tried it for, and how it went. And you go through these 3 things, right? Until they say, I've tried nothing else. Okay. So what have you tried before? Okay. How long have you been trying that? Okay. How'd that go? Not good. Okay. What else have you tried? Okay. How long did you try that? How did that go? And you see how it's a cycle, and then you ask, okay, what else have you tried? What else? Until they say nothing. This is called the pain cycle, and it creates massive pain, and pain is a requirement to sell because you're solving problems. If there is no pain, you can't sell anything. Okay. And the more there is, the faster they will act. It's like, imagine you light a fire under someone. They'll do their best to run out as fast as possible, right? So this is why pain is extremely important. So again, you train your SDRs to ask pain point questions to create urgency in the prospect's mind. If you have inbound leads, you make a VSL, you rewrite your website copy to talk about specific pain points and just instead of just talking about your solution. Okay. I'm going to cover this again later in the sales system, but I'm putting it here too in the appointment booking one because your SDRs should also use this. Okay. The fourth fix is you adjust your copy. So I already touched on this. In the same analysis you did in this fix 1, right? You need to also find common problems and pain points of the top 20% of your customers that you have. All right. And with top 20%, I mean the people who just spent the most amount of money, they stayed the longest if you have a subscription service, and they complained the least, right? You want to find your top 20%. And then you rewrite every marketing email, every website copy, everything that your customers see, your prospects see, to only address those people directly. You call them out, you mention their problems in their own language, and you'll get way more of those people and less of the ones you don't want. Okay? And as a bonus, again, this will also increase your conversion rates and profit margins by a lot because they just spend more money, and every dollar they spend more goes straight to your bottom line, so you just make more profit. Okay? So this doesn't just decrease the sales cycle. Okay? So you filter by who spent the most, stayed the longest, complained the least. You see which pain points they shared in the sales calls. You can just take all your transcripts from the sales calls, give them to Claude, some AI, and it's going to summarize this. Then you adjust every text, every message, website copy, videos, ads to speak to that ICP, right? Your new ideal customer profile. Because the top 20% of your customers will bring 80% of your revenue. Okay? So you only want to sell to these people here at the top.